But then Percival gets to KO and literally makes him...
You son of a bitch, Percival.
...walk into traffic.
Not on my watch.
So,
you leave Tabitha alone,
you
leave Britta alone, and you leave K.O. Kelly alone. Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Riverdale, Season 6, Episode 10.
Chapter 105, Folk Heroes.
Folk Heroes. This was a very dumb episode, but I liked it.
Sure.
I liked the characters we had at play and what they were doing and all that. We got probably the best Cheryl in a while. Cheryl and Betty.
It's because she wasn't isolated totally on her own at Thornhill all by herself.
So I mean I like the Gonzo Cheryl plots and stuff, but I like when we're doing that whilst also incorporating.
I like this kind of Gonzo Cheryl plot. I mean that like Abigail stuff was like okay some of the time, but like I don't know. This is the kind
so
of
her
stuff
thing.
I like.
So it's what I was thinking. Abigail was like.
I thought so too, but it
setting
turns out
people on fire. But
Cheryl.
It turns out it's Cheryl.
Accidentally.
Well, she sent Britta away. Well, she didn't send Britta away.
Yeah.
Britta went back home. She like cleaned things up with her parents.
Because they heard that Cheryl was going to adopt her, and they've decided to accept her.
It was very strange.
Yeah.
I'm going to be mad if we're just done with Britta because I liked her a lot. And also, it's like, what a weird character to bring in to give Cheryl a sidekick to then just remember what the show was originally and be like, oh, right. Did it kind of feel that way? It kind of.
Because also, is Cheryl just like not running her school for girls anymore?
I would like Britta to come back, but thankfully, it was not Britta that spontaneously combusted. However, just as tragically, it was Darius. Cheryl's pillowy-lipped night nurse. Yeah. We laughed out loud because Nana Rose needs to stand vigil over her Abigail.
The Abigail doll.
So she just needs to stare at that doll day and night. And so she told Cheryl she'd hire her a night nurse. And they like it's borderline a smash cut to this like comically handsome young man.
Hunky doctor like literally bursting out of his scrubs.
And Cheryl was just like Donka Darius, that's right. But he burst into flames. And
we don't see it. We only see the aftermath of just the ash and his little feet sitting there.
Feet in the sneakers. It was kind of worse. And so that is how Betty got involved. She came in and then brought up a sect of the FBI that deals with like
paranormal.
Yeah. Do you remember that show? Fuck, I can't think of what it was called.
The Warehouse 19?
No, this was from like 1999 or 2000. Oh. It was called like Secret Unit 3 or something.
Oh.
And they operated out of Chicago. And Elaine Hendricks played, well, not Medusa, but one of her sisters.
Interesting.
I loved it. And it like went on hiatus and then never came back, regardless.
Special Unit 2.
Yeah.
I found it.
What'd you Google?
Elaine Hendricks. And then I just scrolled.
So, she brought in another like agent who works for this version, for this sect of the FBI.
Yeah.
That had suspicious amount of chemistry with Betty. It was really, was I alone with that?
No, because she was like, we all generate heat. Me, you, and I was like,
the two of us together. Grinding. It was very strange. I love it. It felt deliberate.
Yeah,
I mean,
it did feel deliberate for sure. It felt very like,
I feel like we're going to be seeing her again because otherwise it would have just been one side of a phone conversation.
Yeah, she also was like comically hot and she had really good colored eyes.
Crystal green blue.
Yeah, I think she'll be back.
So Betty helped Cheryl and it turns out Cheryl is a pyrokinetic.
Yeah, she's a fire starter.
Yeah, and she at one point her temperature was up to 300 degrees. And they were she has to like displace it.
Yeah.
And so Betty thought to use a picture of Penelope
as motivation. So she started a fire and now she can like light candles just by kind of like waving at them. And she's good now. So we'll see. I think she's going to set Percival on fire at some point.
The Percival thing. So I would like for there to be just a little bit more. There's still I'm totally fine with there being a mystery. It's not the mystery of it, but there is still an element of who the hell is this guy? Like, what the fuck? I wish there was something maybe I wish we had 20% more of a grip on Percival.
So
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. He's doing a couple things. He's got this like whole mind control thing, but then he's also he's open to Curiosity's shop. So.
But this is like the first time that he was like walking around using it willy-nilly.
Sure.
Like he did the thing with Jughead, but we weren't sure if that wasn't just Jughead.
Right. But he is like speaking to people in their minds, but he also has open to Curiosity's shop. And so I think he's pulling like a needful things type of thing. And I don't know. He's also got a real hard on for Tabitha and like running her out of town. But my thing is, hasn't he just mind controlled Tabitha?
Well, he seemed so. We don't know. We don't know the limitations of his power because it's almost like he's targeting people at a time. Because this week he was trying to get into Veronica.
Yeah,
but Veronica was actually in rare form this week.
She was pretty good.
She
like smacked down Reggie and was like, "You're not welcome at the casino anymore. So get the fuck out." And then
and she handled Percival like twice.
She handled Percival a couple of times, and then she managed to like get into like a win-win-win situation with Toni and Tabitha and their businesses, which is great. Like how this is the first time that the female business owners of color in Riverdale have decided to join forces and band together is sort of beyond me.
Well, because so they're touching on it. Like Riverdale is touching on it. If they're devoted, they seem to be devoting more time to some of this. I don't know how to
the like inner workings kind of stuff.
Some of the race dynamics and some of like the political like cultural political moments like of the moment stuff, like because we had the Tabitha filming the cops like the week before.
That was Toni but that was also like heavy-handed in a way that like was
well, because our issue is I was like, I like when they do explore some of these topics that are real and important and happening, at this very moment. But it depends on how you do it. And that specific Toni one we thought aired a little bit on the trite.
Yeah.
Where it's like this whole Percival thing, because this goes back to, because he's a ancestor of Pickens. And we went through the whole Pickens Day in season 2, I think.
Yeah.
Or 3.
Yeah.
Where
after, I think.
The allegory, it was the Confederate statues and stuff. And so here we have Percival coming in trying to re-erect the statue, and the cameras are focusing on Tabitha, making them faces, and so it's like I think that if they're going to do this type of storytelling, the way to do it is by actually devoting time and effort to it.
Which it looks like we might be doing next week with Tabitha as apparently a time traveler, which seems pretty cool. Although we like smash cut to the picture of Martin Luther King Jr.
It was heavy-handed.
I was like, oh no.
I took to Tabitha. I love her so much. I think it's just because she's one of the few rare people in this town and on this show that has her head on her shoulders.
Well, she's great.
And she's also just good.
Yeah, Tabitha's great. Aaron Westbrook is great.
And it's wild to me that we just got her last season, because, I mean, she feels slightly newer.
Was it just last season?
This is her second season.
Shit. Yeah, she feels like she's been here all along.
And so, yeah, I am curious.
I do think season 5 lasted for like 2 whole years.
I am curious, like you said, why Percival hasn't gone after her yet. It's almost like their power doesn't work, or his power doesn't work on them. I don't know if we're going back to like an Abigail place where it's like Jughead and Archie seemed to have, or Jughead mostly seemed to have discovered that if you're like, it's sort of like in Teen Wolf where like you have like your anchor, and if you're focusing on like your anchor, then he can't get to you. And so Archie's anchor is Fred, obviously. And maybe Tabitha is just that single-minded about like Pops and the legacy and like the town of Riverdale in general, that she's just like, it's impenetrable. But the fact that we haven't even seen him try is kind of well, because I would say maybe he needs to sort of focus on one person at a time, except for the fact that he went after like 4 different people this episode.
He's also mind controlling the entire town.
Sure.
And Alice and Frank and like
Alice, I expected more.
Whoa.
I expected more from you. I mean, it does does explain her like terrible character choices the past few episodes, but so anyways, yes, it seems that Percival because he tried to like metaphorically and maybe literally get into bed with Veronica, and she put the kibosh on that. And so now he has properly moved on to Tabitha and Toni. I love because they had this plan. I was a little confused why Veronica was even entertaining the rivalry.
Yeah.
It just felt, I think maybe the show was sort of lampshading it with like, which didn't realize it was happening. She was very single-minded with a lot of her.
Like a little bit, she like didn't realize 100% at first, and then when Toni or Tabitha finally calls her, and she's like, "I was literally just about to call you. I think we should meet." And it's like, so they kind of all came to this together because it was like there's only room for one billboard.
It's like it's the Riverdale town ordinances and bureaucracy and stuff. It's like that stretch of land is only zoned for 2 billboards.
Whatever. So it's like the town billboard, which now says something about progress, which is literally terrifying. And then there's room for one more, and the Babylonium has acquired the rights to that billboard, despite Pops having always been featured on a billboard outside of the town limits or whatever. So that's where Tabitha and Toni hook up together and are like, well, how about this? Like, you start serving alcohol at Pops, and I'll get a couple of food gambling machines. And in the White Worm, and that's how we'll compete, because like both our revenues are down or whatever. And then literally immediately people are getting so drunk at Pops that they're peeing in the alley. Which, first of all, what alley? It's a trailer in the middle of nowhere.
With a basement.
So, regardless.
Well, I still love that they were also the like entertainment, that they were doing full blown, I can't think of what the song was.
Oh, it wasn't Hey Big Spender, but it was like, it was funny. Shit, I forgot too.
They were doing full blown
like a whole
musical numbers. In which like Fangs came in and got real patriarchy,
puritanical about it.
I mean, he was right in that.
His argument about them they're like in a custody battle. How does this look?
But that aside, it was weird that they took that angle, because I remember as they were both on stage with strippers, no shade, no shame, but you were like, you are business owners. Like you have things to be doing.
As if both of these women don't own their whole own
You're running this
and don't have things to do. Like
to be the showgirl.
And so they're just up there and like, I guess, I don't know. There's also, I don't really want to get into it, but there's like weird optics about like the status of like childcare in this town too, because like Toni and Fangs are like a committed couple to one another, and they're gonna give this baby to a single gay man who's like militantly in the sheriff's department now. Like,
that's the Percival stuff.
No, of course. It's just so frustrating from like a realistic perspective.
Is this not how social work works?
No.
You did study that in school.
I did. They really generally don't take babies away from their mothers. Like really uncommon. And to give them to a strange white man who's like not related. I don't know. I guess it's Kevin's baby. Because like she was carrying the baby for Kevin and Fangs.
I don't remember. I thought she just was like knocked up and was like, I'll give you my baby.
Oh, then it's only her baby. And Kevin
I don't remember. I might.
Oh God, I don't.
The less we have to deal with baby Anthony,
of course,
the better as far as I'm concerned.
I'm not asking for more deeper baby Anthony plots. I'm just like, I'm confused about the origins of baby Anthony.
So yeah, I'm very curious who Percival is and what his deal is.
Yeah.
Because he's got a real white nationalist, like we're dealing with like political commentary, and which case making him English is slightly odd.
Well, colonialism.
Yeah.
We are getting a lot of Stephen King stuff too, so I think my Needful Things theory might play out as well.
I just my opinion is if you're going to tackle sensitive or of the moment issues, you need to give them the proper amount of time and respect.
Agreed.
It shouldn't be a plot point or a twist or a stunt. And I'm just not convinced they're going to. Maybe like 2 seasons ago, I would have had more faith.
Mm-hmm.
But, we'll see. We'll see. So the A story actually was that Jughead's plan. I mean, it was a plan.
I mean, okay.
It's not foolproof.
It's not flawless, but it's a plan. He's like, we need a folk hero.
Well, he's like, we need to turn Archie into a god for the town to worship.
Okay, the thing is Archie is already low-key a god because he is indestructible.
But I know, I just love that Jughead's plan was like, hear me out.
Yeah.
Let's use the tools we have.
Yeah. Not the worst Jughead plan. They just did not account for the piece of palladium.
Yeah, they had a full Archie statue ready to go. Yeah.
So basically his plan is to call the Guinness Book of World Records people. Archie's going to go through a bunch of like 1930s circus
feats of strength.
And
which that checks.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
Riverdale.
Whatever. And then he's going to be like the strongest man alive or the most indestructible strongest man alive, something like that. But then in order to secure it, he has to pass all the feats, but in order to secure it, he has to fight and defeat K.O. Kelly. Well,
why?
I have no fucking idea.
Because I thought it was weirdly their idea to bring K.O. Kelly in.
I kind of was. I don't 100% get it.
One of the few things that we loved about Katie Keene, I am baffled.
Yeah.
That it's like, because we did get, we had a cameo from Sabrina, and we did get confirmation Sabrina will be in season 6, but it's astonishing to me that of all of the synergy and crossover and stuff that we're getting, we are up to here with Katie Keene and not... So K.O. Kelly comes in.
Harvey Kinkle doesn't want to learn how to box. Like, what are we doing? Ambrose can't take a spin at the White Worm.
So K.O. comes in, makes eyes at Archie for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It was both Archie and Betty were at this was
peak
their
bisexual energy.
I was gonna say they were back from their semester abroad at Elite.
So
wasn't it we like to the energy between
there was energy.
K.O. and Archie?
So but then Percival gets to KO and literally makes him
son of a bitch, Percival.
Walk into traffic.
Not on my watch. So, you leave Tabitha alone, you leave Britta alone, and you leave K.O. Kelly alone.
So, first of all,
I'll flip this table.
His name is KO.
Knockout.
It always has been. Always.
Mm-hmm.
And now, 5 years later, all of a sudden, it's because he just started knocking everybody out with one punch.
Did they say that?
Yes.
Oh. Nobody watched Katie Keene.
Murder.
No one knew him from Adam.
Regardless, he walks into traffic. He's apparently in the hospital. He's in stable condition, so he's fine. But then Percival decides that he's going to fight Archie, which on the surface seems laughable.
It really does. This actor.
His name is Chris O'Shea. He's handsome.
He's very
charming.
cute. He's very charming. There's something slightly off about him.
Yeah.
And so when they were like, he's going to box, I was like, I mean, I hope he's in shape. It turns out he's actually even kind of thick.
He's pretty thick.
I was like, like muscle thick, not like chubby thick. There's two different versions.
He's not like as cut as KJ Appa, but like I could believe that he could knock KJ Appa on his ass.
Well, KJ Appa's deceptively little. Like, he seems bigger than he is.
Those are vanity muscles. Like, I feel like Chris O'Shea is like a lumberjack.
No, and because we were talking about, I was like, where has this been? And you were like, he's tall, and it comes off as thin.
He's wearing all those suits, so it makes him appear lanky.
Slender.
Yeah.
And I was impressed. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm here for it.
So my dumbass, because I can't stress this enough. For the most part, when I'm watching Riverdale, I have a third of my brain on. And I am mystified in my mind as to how any of this is happening. He's
landing punches on Archie left and right. He's making him bleed. He's knocking him out.
Flat out.
Twice.
Birds flying. And I couldn't wait to get in here and be like, how did he do that? And Rachel was like, so he's got palladium in his gloves. And I was like, oh, that was like 2 weeks ago. I can't be bothered to remember that.
That's the thing is, like, I didn't realize that was going to come back up. And then For Betty, though, to be so mystified as to how it went missing from a lockbox that's just sitting around in her, like, unlocked FBI office.
As if her mother isn't acting like his own personal Renfield.
Yeah.
Like, traipsing about the town.
Like Alice Cooper and Uncle Frank. And both of them are just acting totally ridiculous. You know who we need back? Mary Andrews. Get fucking Mary Andrews in here. She'll be like, according to subsection 5C of the Riverdale Charter, your bitch ass needs to leave town.
Mary Andrews, K.O. Kelly, Britta. Like, it's just this dream team of...
Do you know who could probably get him is fucking Pepper or whatever from Katie Keene. The one who was scamming everybody.
Anna Delvey.
Yeah.
We kind of glossed over it, but no, I did love that Jughead plan was like, well, because he like
just deify Archie.
He dressed it up in like Americanisms, like Paul Bunyan and all that shit.
Johnny
but no,
Appleseed.
it was literally like, well, let's just turn Archie into a god, and I love that for him. I love that trajectory. So,
also, it turns
he's got big
out,
like Hercules energy.
Sure, I buy it. It turns out that at one point Percival mind controlled Alice to bring him into Betty's room, which why she's still sleeping at the Cooper house ever is beyond me. But
so that must have been before they came up with their like use your anchor strategy.
Yeah,
she just forgot. Although they did establish it is hard to do because Archie
he even fades into it almost a couple of times, and then he thinks about Frank.
Yeah, so
or Fred.
I suppose that's
regardless. He basically was like, "You're gonna tell me all of Archie's weaknesses, and then you're gonna forget this conversation ever happened." And so that's how he found out about the Palladium.
Mm-hmm. I think that was it.
That's mostly it. It wasn't like you said. It was a dumb episode.
It was a dumb episode, like, but it felt it felt like we were playing with the toys that we had versus going and bringing in new toys, which is sort of one of my.
I do like that.
I guess Reggie still has this stuff with his dad. Although weirdly, his dad wasn't even in the episode, so I don't understand what that was. So they're just like playing.
Yeah, he's just like set up like a satellite casino at the car
dealership.
I don't get it.
It was very strange.
They don't know what to do with Reggie. It's like they have tried to make Reggie a series regular when like.
I mean, he's been since season.
I know,
3.
but they've never known what to do with him, and I feel similarly with him about like I do with Kevin, where it's just like, can you like let them go and they just come back around for like 2 episodes a season? Like I don't. I
almost think the issue is that they are trying to give them like juicy plot versus just having them there.
Yeah, just have them there.
And I think that when the plot doesn't feel organic, it does a disservice versus just having. I mean,
well, it's what we said a couple.
They're
of
talented.
Weeks ago.
I mean, and I think that I don't think they should be wasting their lives, on like a dead end job.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, I mean, it's a paycheck, just like.
Yeah. Because Kevin wasn't even in this episode.
That's not uncommon for people to take the week off. So, because there was someone else who wasn't in this. I don't remember. Maybe I'm thinking of last week because Betty only was in like one scene. So, all right, I think that was it. So we'll see next week. Like I said,
seems like a Tabitha
very special Tabitha episode where she time travels. Yeah. And I'm actually excited. I think it could be good. Although, like you said, there was that portrait of Martin Luther King Jr. and the music cue that felt a little soapy in a way that I was like, oh, that checks. No, that'll for Riverdale that'll work.
I'm just worried they're not gonna handle it correctly
with the gravitas that they need to do it justice, to be respectful.
Exactly that.
With their stellar track record. Okay.
Be back next week. Bye.